Today we're going to be revisiting F1 2015, the Australian Grand Prix, because this track looks like the Albert Park because this game is over 11 years old. The track is Albert Park because this is Australian Grand Prix because it was the 2015 regulations of all time, because of the 2014 regulations got even banned for a front wing situation because the front nose is even morally highly terrible or something, because the legal fact is that we weren't able to discuss so because due to DMCA strike. So we got some other F1 teams to choose from if we're going to be driving around the track. And if you wanted to choose from, so we got Mercedes, Ferrari, the Williams as well, the world's fastest Formula 1 car, the Red Bull as well, Force India, and I really think it is something because, and we have a Toro Rosso, the old Minardi, because this Minardi was from the 90s, and this car was actually McLaren, the MP430, and we just actually going to have a, I really don't think so because we got one Sauber, or just, I really think so, and there is one Marussia, and there is a podium up here because last time, because if you hadn't won winner yet, what should I going to be driving? But maybe I'm going for Minardi before, after I'm going to be putting my helmet first before you drive. And look how the car just actually feels good, and this physics is actually going to be easy to drive. So let's take on a first drive. So it looks like it's very easy because it's actually traveling too fast after an out lap, because out lap was pretty intense, because I'm really sure that I'm not able to do so because I'm not sure that you want to do to drive and exactly as the drag race, and because we're gonna be practicing for the Australian Grand Prix and I almost crashed, and because this is why I'm going to be so much more realistic, and it's not pretty good so well. Let's take on for a first lap of monstrosity because let's do it right away, because I just want to feel so great about this because I'm just actually traveling too fast and cut the corner and failing for the lap times itself. It looks like I'm going to be finishing lots of laps, because lots of laps means we cannot able to finish lots of laps, and because it's only official in one lap for condition. Since we failed one lap, because I'm entirely solution, because due to the huge mistakes that I tried to get killed out there, because I'm about to respawn this F1 car, but unfortunately, because I can't able to drive like this, but I have to reset my character as well. Up next, we're gonna be driving a Marussia or a Sauber. So which is, I'm going to be driving right now because actually there are no textures on these in-game textures, because actually in Roblox this is hard to do so, because this is gonna be much more harder than I ever seen, because after an out lap, because I'm required to try to save, because it's gonna be a one lap race, and because this is a one lap time test. Okay, I'm going to be careful in this Albert Park because I have no laps to do so, because I need to be careful, not allowed to travel too fast, because this F1 car is actually more quicker than you ever imagine like this in the real life virtually. And looks like I'm going to be taking for some turns, and because of these regulations are not pretty good so well, and because of this, it actually pretty much, and it's going to be lots of smoother, and smoother is going to be much more easy in this game, because this game was actually easy at this point because you can drift around the Albert Park with some Formula 1 cars. One lap has completed, and I certainly have a couple of damage of this vehicle because I have less of these damage, and once I get back into the pits, I'm choosing another Formula 1 car for the F1 team. The front wing is actually missing due to the great mistake that I had just accident because of this sometimes, because it is a terrible moment that you've been waiting for, because I'm going to reset the character again. So I'm going to be using the Caterham or just Renault. So we're going to be starting a good lap. So I'm just avoiding speeding or just traveling too fast as well. And we're going to make things a right way to save my decisions without crashes and some other stuff like that. So we are going to complete one lap at a time. So if this lap was actually finished, so I need to return back and never respawn until I move to Williams. So that must be the drift point or just a spinning point, because I actually wasted my lifetime and the lap time because of this lap time was actually kind of bit before, so I need to slow down, and I actually spawn out for the insecurity corner, and because that was so much exactly what it is, and the final corner as well, so I'm not going to have mistake because we went mistakes for a final few corners because the lap did not count, and this is a complete lap time because this lap time was not worth it. Up next, we're going to be driving the Williams FW37. Now let's see, we're going for the onboard view. So if we're going for an onboard view for just now, so after the out lap for now, so you want to see an onboard view with the Williams because it actually can't see, because during the onboard view, because I cannot actually see right there in the front distance while turning. So we're beginning the lap times because actually we're already started, and looks like the FW37 is drifting our way for a first two corners. And I'm not going to drift a lot and lots of corners because of mistaken for driving around too fast, and because speaking of traveling too fast will resulting a kind of something's a went for an enormous disaster. I just cut the corner, which is one lap has been invalid, and I just spin out because of due to this mistaken, and we just went off wide off the track because actually what a great fail. And what is a great fail, because traveling too fast is not an option because last few couple of corners, and because I spawned out for too much as well since I put back in the pits. So let's go with Mercedes, and we're not doing an onboard view anymore, so we're gonna be doing a chase cam because there are no chase cam because just free onboard view, because there was an actually free view or something, because we're gonna be trying to do an super lap because an out lap, because after just an out lap, because I just wanted to do so. After 1 year of hybrid era, it's now up to Lewis Hamilton or Nico Rosberg as well, because now in 2015, because this is actually 2015 because it's actually years ago, because it was actually 2021 but 2022 as well, because we're gonna be doing a kind of super lap because I just failed one lap and a perfect stop and just a good start, but there we go. So we're about to slow down and try not to travel too fast as possible. So I need to let go of my throttle. So it looks like I'm started to spin out once again. And actually I did a great save because actually good job I did, because actually Lewis or Hamilton or just Nico Rosberg just actually did in the 2015 Grand Prix for the Australian Albert Park. And one last final turn and we just actually completed a lap. after I put the Mercedes back in the pits, and let's drive something else. If we're going to be driving some random vehicles like Force India, because I won't able to drive like that, because whatever, because I just want to drive some Williams, even the Minardi thingy, and because something like whatsoever. So if we're gonna be driving like Minardi, and I'm going to be driving a McLaren MP430. This will be a good lap time for the MP430. So let's do it and let's find out what it takes to be. Because the McLaren MP430 will take on the action of this track in Albert Park in Australian Grand Prix. And looks like the MP430 is going to drift on the outside, and just like what I did, and we're gonna be doing so, and let's go drift on the outside because it's going to be turning on straight. And looks like the McLaren MP430 did a great job, because I did a great job also, because looks like I'm so really good at lap times and drifting as well. That was so easy as well, and it can easily spins out your vehicle. And looks like we got the final turn and head on straight into the finish. And looks like we did it again as well, because the McLaren is almost just hit the wall for an accident. But not last at least, we're gonna be driving a Ferrari, because we're gonna get ourselves for a good and really good lap time, because just for now, and Sebastian Vettel is going to make ourselves a good lap times, because just like in 2015, because actually 2015 it was the actual year that I've been waiting for. It's just a friendship games, and looks like we just actually spin out and drift too much for this now. And looks like we're gonna be drifting and outside just before the chicane, because I just well know, and because I already know that I wanted to do so, and we just going to drift and a little bit mistakes. So no mistakes whatsoever, because it's just a little mistake and we just got ourselves a spin out. But what a great fail for this, and send it to the finish. So looks like we are done with the lap times, so let's put the Ferrari back in the pits for now. So looks like it's all over for me, because if I'm going to end of this video, so make sure I need to get to the podium. So looks like I'm actually a winner, because if I'm just a winner because of something like this, and actually I just going to be winning for sometimes in F1 2015, the Roblox game. So let's put ourselves back in the pits, because I think I made a little bit mistakes for just in lap. I already put the Ferrari back in the pits, and looks like we're going for ourselves a podium, because I'm actually qualified in first place, because this is not a qualification, because it's not a transitional practice. And looks like we're in a totally far more decisions that I can really do so, because this is where I'm going to do for my outro as well. If I'm about to reset this character, but maybe, well, I guess. So thank you for watching and for all your support. Which will be Turbo Concept will be signing off, and I'll talk to you all later.